Alrighty, let's get started. This is our monthly district call for advisor for January. Not a whole lot of new things to cover this month, so this will be another short one, I'm sure. Just a reminder about Launch Nebraska. We will be sending some communication soon, but we encourage all the districts to update their status on this page, where you're telling us generally what dates you are remote or hybrid, so that we can display it here as well as other uses. The link to do that is not visible on the site, but you could use this link in the agenda here, this district dash status. This is where you go to update your data. So I think there'll be a communication about that coming out in the near future as well, which will probably go to superintendents, I would guess. All right, and updates for the current year in Advisor. Basically, everything has been turned on now, I think. I'm pretty sure we've got everything covered. So that means our new 2021 grad cohort is running, as well as the teacher course endorsements, that's the one over in NSSRS validation. Your programs of study offerings, that is now active in Advisor. So I believe that's everything we have for the year. It should, so all your course related reports, everything there should be up and running now. We've been, adding new errors lately just based on things we're seeing. We always put something in the bulletin when these come out, so please pay attention to that. A couple I wanted to mention. This new one, I believe it's 778, grade range not valid for enrolled school, as opposed to the reporting school. So our old error 306 essentially uses the reporting school. That's the error that would say, well, we updated the text, but it, that's where if the kid is, you have like an 8th grader in your high school, that's only supposed to be 9 through 12. We'll flag them. So this new error, 778, is for the enrolled school. Now that is basically the school that is not your reporting school. Generally, the enrolled school would be the school you see the kid in your SIS. Yeah, I know like a lot of districts might use a separate school for a non-reportable school or just to split students up. I believe like Infinite Campus.
Is anybody talking so that I can check my audio?
Yeah, Glenn, can you not hear? Or can, I assume someone can hear.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Thank you. Anyway, so the enrolled school is, just where the student is located in your SIS, basically. I believe that comes up, especially when doing assessment rosters. Your enrolled school is, I believe, I think it's for NWEA. We give them both the enrolled school and the reporting school. So,
Max, would you please say something?
Anyway, so basically those two areas are very similar. They just look at different schools. Another one that we turned on and we've kind of been talking about a bit is EL students, English learners can't be participating in redesignated fluent. So the way we expected these flags to be used is, you know, an EL student is identified as eligible, which means you would submit a program record for any eligible EL student. But if the parent opts out, then the kid is not participating and not fluent. Then if a kid is participating, you would set the participating flag. And then there comes a day where after taking the ELPA, they test out as fluent, and then you would submit the record as not participating, but now they are redesignated fluent. And you basically keep submitting those redesignated fluent kids. I think there's a minimum number of years that our EL team needs to see that, like 4 years or something. We generally recommend just once someone is redesignated fluent to just always report them that way, as long as they're in your district. It's the easy way to do it. We've got a question about kids that become fluent mid-year. Do we need 2 different EL records? We're going to talk about that with our EL office. So I will probably get back to everyone next month with an answer on that. So those are, you know, the ones that stand out in my mind that have turned on lately. We'll be turning on another one in the future that'll just be a warning, where we're going to look at the grade level a student is in and kind of a broad age range for the student there. And this is just to essentially help catch students who might have bad data in their birth date, or a wrong grade level, I suppose. But more often, I bet it'll be, you know, this will help us catch those kids that are 90 years old or 30 years old according to the birth date entered in Person ID. So look at the bulletin, that'll be coming out soon. Assessment rosters, we're in the middle of sending out assessment rosters to the vendors this week. Like we've done last year or last 2 years, we're actually going to send multiple updates to NWEA. But not the other vendors. So ACT, alternate assessments, those we send one roster to them, and then after that, it's districts will have to go do updates manually if needed. So yeah, the VST and help desk. Greg, yeah, everything we have about EL reporting is in our data elements document right now, but we've kind of been talking about adding to that document with some of this stuff. So good question, Greg. But yeah, we don't have like an in-depth document around English learners at the moment.
Can I ask a question about the roster updates?
Sure.
Is it my understanding that all name data for a student comes from the ID system, the unique ID system, not from
yeah.
Advisor?
Well, the names in Advisor come from the Person ID system. So ultimately it all comes from one place.
But we can't it doesn't just update through our Advisor, our normal EdFi updates from our SIS. We have to manually put some changes into the unique ID system. Correct.
Yeah. You no longer send the names up through Advisor now. We just have it tied directly into Person ID.
Hey, Max, I have one thing on that we ran into with Gretna this week. And it's, they had a kid who's going to take the ACT for the state. And the kid's also taking dual credit courses at Metro Community. Well, Metro uploaded to the unique ID system and they have the kid's name wrong. Like it's Jonathan and they have John or something like that. And ACT they're getting quarreling on the assessment side because they have a kid with one ID but has two different names. They got one way. I don't know if the feed to ACT, if that could be like exclude Metro, if there's a public district that also claimed that kid this year, or those post-secondary schools somehow be excluded from that, but it's causing problems on the ACT site, and Metro won't fix it unless the kid sends a copy of their driver's license over to a specific person. They're being very tough about it. So
Yeah, it's not as simple as just avoiding those names, but that can maybe be set up. I should also note that whoever updates the name last wins. So the district
Yeah.
can also just update it in person ID. And
yeah,
for
until
this
the next,
case, not have to deal with it for now. But,
yeah. But just something to think about for future years, that the metros aren't very good about, like, they must not look at the any legal documentation to make sure they have the kid's legal name. So
yeah, all of the local community colleges do use the person ID system, so we do run into issues there sometimes. But I guess at this point, I guess the ACT roster has already been sent out, I believe. So even if we do make a change to the kid's name on our side, I assume ACT is not going to see that change from us. So if that's what you're referring to, I guess, is that this has just happened in like the last day or two?
well, it happened this last week or some, I don't know how they knew it got messed up at ACT or what happened, but somehow
Yeah,
ACT got a hold of it. But
I'm not sure about when that went out exactly,
yeah.
but yeah, if you ever need a quick fix for it, you can just always, or the district can always update that kid in person ID. And generally the colleges aren't updating that data, routinely, or, once or twice a year, basically. So I just wanted to note that from the workday, we have the slides and a couple of short videos. So here in the NDE resources tab, slides, quick recording of going over the slides. Here's the message from Min talking about how to do alternate assessments in SRS. So if you missed out on that workday, go ahead and click through the stuff at that link. All right, quick update about where we are with 21-22. We're working on adopting EdFi 3.5. I think I had 3.4 before. I think we've decided to go with 3.5. That's the newest version that's out. Again, not any major differences really known compared to 3.1. And we have started setting up new servers for the new version 3.5 infrastructure. And we'll be working on that over the next couple of months here. So still don't have any final list for any data element changes for next year, but we will have that soon. All right, advisor validation, we haven't put out the update yet. We will be looking at that in the near future. Updating the lock data in the lookups. We're adding age as an option in the special ed lookup. A couple other little tweaks. So I'll let you know when that goes out. Otherwise, things are pretty stable there. We still are working on the CRDC reports, so definitely we will get those out. But nothing big new to report there. Same with the advisor dashboard. We are still working on some updates for it. but it is available and running on the newest data. All right, lastly, vendor updates. I don't have any big news to share that I'm aware of. Again, I still need to get back with all the vendors, and we're going to do a checkup on the vendor certification, make sure we get all the things marked off that were fixed. Just haven't had time yet, so hopefully later this month I may get to that. So yeah, I really don't have any other updates that I've heard from vendors. If any vendors on the call here wanted to share something, go ahead and unmute yourself and check in.
This is Amy. I can be your Power School representative. There were some updates, state release updates that went out in December, along with some core student information system, or SIS, updates that went out. Everything, to my knowledge, has been successful. You can always go check that public website that lets you know what was involved in all the updates. If I do have any districts that are having some issues, by all means, please reach out and let me know. We do still meet weekly with Power School in regards to advisor and other things on Thursdays. And so that's where I can take those issues to the developers and see if we need to troubleshoot them any further. That is all.
Greg from JMC here. Not much new to report. No new bugs, fixes that we're working on. Everything seems to be stable. We're just working on additional resources and tweaking those. That's all.
All right. Well, thanks for giving the updates. So yeah, that's and Rob from CIC said no major updates from campus either. So that's everything I wanted to cover this month. Is there any other questions or any topics anyone wants to bring up? Go ahead and you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Yeah, the dashboard has accurate data as far as we're aware. So if you see something that doesn't look right, please put in a ticket to us, the advisor help at nebraskacloud.org address. Or I think if you're in the dashboard, there is like a form that I think sends an email, a help link in the menu. But yeah, definitely, if you see anything off on the dashboard, let us know and we will get to looking at it. Alrighty, no other takers. I think we'll call it for this month. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 10th. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you, Max.